Saddam Hussein, the former president of Iraq, entering the Iraqi High Tribunal courtroom within minutes, was sentenced to death by hanging by the presiding judge, Rauf Abdul Rahman. At times, Saddam was surrounded by up to 7 guards. He was forced to stand up, initially refusing to do so. And as he exited, Saddam chanted, "To hell with the occupiers, to hell with the traitors," referring specifically as he looked at Iraqis working as complainant lawyers, as the prosecution. And as he exited the door of the courtroom, he chanted, "Long live Iraq." The death sentence now, what happens with that? An immediate appellate process. Within 10 days, it goes to the appellate chamber of the Iraqi High Tribunal. Within 30 days, the defense must file any appellate motions that it wants. There is no time limit, though, for how long that appeals process will take. But once it reaches its conclusion, if it chooses to uphold this conviction and sentence, Saddam Hussein must be hung within 30 days. He was, of course, on trial with 7 co-defendants, chief among them his half-brother, Barzan Hassan al-Takriti. He was sentenced to death. Awad al-Bandar, the former chief judge, sentenced to death. You see the video there, the contentious back and forth that took place as these defendants heard what has become the final judgment. Throughout this process, they have decried the illegitimacy of the court. They have forced this process to descend into chaos. But this was a moment similar only in what I've seen to when we saw the documents presented, which for the first time really linked Saddam to the charges at hand, that they appreciated the legal process that has taken place and the sentence that they now face. As for the other defendants, Taha Yassin Ramadan, the former Iraqi vice president, sentenced to life in prison, but the death sentence also handed down for Awad al-Bandar, the former chief judge of the Revolutionary Court, who signed the execution orders of those 148 individuals, and Barzan Hassan al-Takriti, who's been perhaps the most vocal member among the defendants throughout this trial. He has been sentenced to death as well. He was the former head of the intelligence service at the time that this assassination attempt took place. The other 4 defendants were lower-level Ba'ath Party officials. They were residents, villagers of Dhu jail. 3 of them sentenced to 15 years in connection to willful murder. The other, the 4th, the eldest, was freed essentially on insufficient charges. So this is a very dramatic day for this court, a very dramatic day for Iraq. How it now affects the scene on the ground is, of course, of utmost concern. We've seen the capital province and 2 others enter a huge curfew, a ban on all traffic until further notice. The international airport has been closed. So what the reaction will be on the streets is, of course, what we will now wait to see. We understand in Tikrit, Saddam Hussein's hometown, some 2,000 protesters defying the government-imposed curfew that had mandated no traffic of people or cars in 3 provinces, going out in support of Saddam Hussein, holding up pictures. That number intensified, grew towards the sentencing itself. The curfew, we don't know when it will end, but when it does, people will watch to see what the reaction is on the streets to what has become a very dramatic day here for the Iraqi High Tribunal. The question, of course, will this change anything for the better or for the worse?